Hi, coming to you live today to talk with you about something that I've been hearing from many of you about in the last couple of weeks in coaching conversations, but also in some of the responses to some of the other emails from our Do Life Together newsletter. Thank you so much for spending time and connecting with me afterwards. I love hearing your stories. Earlier this week, one of my clients said to me, I wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed our time together. I tend to live on edge, and you have such an ability to make people feel comfortable. Thanks, Jane. I feel very blessed that people are willing to have open conversations with me about things that are actually happening in their life and in their business. And one of the things I like to do is turn around and share it with you as well, right? And so one of the things I want to talk about this week is overwhelm. And when we get into those states of overwhelm, I get to work with a lot of people in different industries and also a lot of different individuals that maybe are, stay-at-home moms or have individual businesses, or maybe you're just supporting family members later in life. And so one of the things that happens is frequently as we have more and more things pile on our plate or more and more things are coming at us, we get overwhelmed and we find ourselves kind of in this state where oftentimes we move back into like mundane tasks. We're like, listen, I'll just do the dishes again. I'll just reorganize the pantry. I'll just go clean out my desk, right? I'll just respond to all the emails that have been in my inbox for a while, right? Have you ever found yourself in really mundane tasks? There's so much that comes from that. There's so much good that can come from that, even because it's a task where we feel comfortable and confident. And yet, oftentimes what we're doing is we're just avoiding and ignoring some of those overwhelming things that are going on. When I was a little girl, I got to sing in the Texas Girls Choir from about the age of 5 on. And so I was singing from a very young age and all the way up through college, and actually even sang to my husband from the back of the church before I walked down the aisle. But one of the things that happened when I was doing that is that I learned how to breathe really well. Because you don't just get to sing if you can't get a lot of breath into your lungs, and not just into your lungs, but like breathing, taking that oxygen all the way in to like the lower parts of your belly, right? And so I would breathe all the way into my diaphragm, very, very deep breathing. And then over time, I would push that breath back out and it would produce a beautiful sound. Well, at least some people thought it was a beautiful sound. But I would push this air back out. And when I was doing that, I didn't realize something really important was happening. I was regulating my nervous system by remembering to breathe out. And I just have to come to you today and say that oftentimes when we're in the middle of the stress and the overwhelm and the things that are happening, we don't stop breathing in. We'd stop living if we stopped breathing in, but we forget to allow that oxygen, to take that oxygen, first of all, deep into our body, right? Breathe it all the way into the lowest part of your body that you can, and then push all of that excess air back out, right? And do that. And so when you are in a state of overwhelm, when you find yourself thinking, Lord, what is going on right now? How can all of this be coming at me? Or maybe you're not even that aware of it, but you just find yourself like feeling like you need to run, right? Fight or flight. I want to encourage you to pause, to remind yourself to take 3 really deep breaths and then breathe all of that excess back out, to do that 3 times. And then take a minute and brain dump. Write down all the things that are in your mind right now, all the things that are coming to you. Even if you're like, I don't want anybody to see this, it doesn't matter. Take a minute and write those things down, because that's going to allow you to clearly evaluate what's actually happening. And you'll be able to look back over that list in a few minutes with those deep breaths and be able to identify, what do I need to be focused on right now? And what else could I be avoiding right now? Or what could I maybe defer it, move it to a different day? Maybe there's some things on there you could delegate, you could ask someone else to do, right? And maybe some things just need to go away. They're just bad beliefs or patterns or thoughts that we've kind of put in our way that like, I don't actually need to do that. And it's a habit or a pattern or a belief that I've had stored in my brain for a long time. And you know what? There might have been a time that served you, but that might not be now. And so releasing it is totally fine. So I just want to encourage you, if you feel overwhelmed or you have a lot of things coming at you, take a few minutes and do that today. Try that the next time you feel that way. I'm just going to tell you right now, I had another client earlier this week. He said, thanks for our conversation earlier this week. At times, I step in to fill the gaps around my teams. And I'm trying to keep this idea in front of me, even though it's kind of tough and a bit frustrating. Guys, if it's not frustrating, you're probably not doing it right, because when we have to slow ourselves down that much to do that, right, it can be a little frustrating. He said, because I know it's going to be a good way to release some of the stress that I carry. Nate, thanks for your transparency in that. And I hope that for you, when you find yourself in that space, that you too will try this. And I would love to hear from you if you do and hear how it works for you, or maybe even how it didn't, right? Because we can't expect this new habit or this new thing to serve us at a high level the first time. But I promise you, with repetition, there'll be a foundation and you'll have clarity around that. Thanks for doing life with me. And I pray that today's Doing Life newsletter serves you at a high level. Would love to hear from you. And I will talk with you soon.